Welcome back to Antwerp, the 2013 World Gymnastics Championships. Just 3 events to go in today's finals. The men's parallel bars will be coming up next, which features 2 gymnasts from China. As I mentioned earlier, these gymnasts from China have dominated parallel bars for the last several years. And we have 2 Americans in the final as well, and Brandon Nguyen and John Orozco. Quick update on the medal tab to this point. The U.S. has won 10 medals so far at these World Championships. 2 gold, 6 silver, and 2 bronze. Japan is second in terms of the medal count. They've won 5. They have the most golds with 3.
Well, you see the Chinese men is very particular about how they chalk the parallel bars up. But when you say that they dominate this event, they actually had 3 finish in the top 5. Xu Shishong actually had the highest difficulty score, and he tied his teammate Yo Hao. But unfortunately, when only 2 athletes can qualify into the event finals, that means that he is not competing today. So, there's just over 4/10 separating the athletes in this final. In fact, there's 9 competing because there was a tie in that last spot.
Pour la Chine, Xiaopang Lin.
Lin Xiaopan from Fujian in China, just 18 years of age. This is, of course, his international debut. You have to turn 18 in the year of the competition to be age eligible in men's gymnastics. It's 16 in women's gymnastics. 4 of the 5 gymnasts competing here from China. This is a first World Championship experience for them. Qualified 3rd into this event final.
His difficulty score is 6.7, but his execution, one of the best in the field at a 9.033. And if you watch his toe point and his feet, that's what the judges are looking for, that nice, clean, sharp line.
That move there is called a Bobzar, invented by Raj Bobzar of the U.S. Olympic team. A lot of gymnasts are using it now because it's a great transitional element, connecting some of these moves together. And it's very difficult.
Perfect landing there.
What a way to start the competition. The gymnast from China will bracket this. The first and the final performer in today's final come from China. And you mentioned his execution was superb in qualifying. That's
well, very difficult to do on elements like that where they're turning. See a slight separation, but from the judge's angle, they probably can't even see that. And of course, that stuck landing. Big elements here. We'll see some of the athletes wear pads on their arms, but right here is where he put the exclamation point on this routine. Nailed that landing.
The second in the all-around at the Chinese Nationals this year, 3rd on the high bar. Quite a relief for the 18-year-old. And you can see them treating his underarms and biceps. There's a lot of abuse on your arms on the parallel bars. 15.666. Great start for the men's parallel bar finals. Lin Xiaopan.
You'll see every athlete, every country chalks these bars up differently. Why is it such a big deal?
Well, it's interesting. Everybody has their own concoction that they like to put on the bars to make them as tacky and sticky as possible. Some gymnasts use combinations of honey and chalk and water, and I mean, I've seen gymnasts use Coca-Cola. Everybody has their own little blend of how they like the bars, because when they swing below the bars, you need to have a really strong grip, not slip off. So you have the chalk to keep the bars dry, but a little stickiness so you have a good grip through the bottom. Marius Berbicar now from Romania.
Well, this is...
See how aggressively he swings. Oh Oh my goodness, that's unfortunate. He was not supposed to go outside the rails there. You see how aggressively he swings through the bottom. Obviously, he has gotten the concoction right for his underbar work.
I was going to mention this is one of the men's events that doesn't work grit, so very important that the athlete feels like they have a good grip on the bar. Really swings nicely through that section.
Romanian national champion on this event. In qualifying last year at the Olympics, qualified 16th, missed the final. But he was a finalist at 2011 World Championships. Oh, unfortunate. He knows it.
Yeah. Well, when there's only just over 4/10 separating this field on this event, he knows that it matters. And right there, you could see he came out a little short. His shoulders were closed. How much of a deduction is that when they're not coming off the bar, but they make a mistake?
Well, the judges know that you broke the rhythm, that you also missed the combination, that he was going to connect with that. So it all adds up, unfortunately. So
we might see it affect the difficulty score as well
as the execution, correct. Berbekar is 28 years of age.
Really nice swing through this section. You can see how important that hand grip is right there with that momentum. And finished it up with a clean double pike. A few steps back.
En de man die u zich nu ziet voorbereiden.
I mentioned his age at 28. The average age of the male gymnast in this competition is 23 years, 9 months. The average age for the women in this competition is 19 years and 4 months. So typically, the men are about 4.5 to 5 years older at this level of top international competition. And many of these athletes make their living as gymnasts. 6.5 difficulty, 8.5 execution, 15.0 puts him in second place. Several of these gymnasts travel around the world competing in World Cup competitions, earning prize money. Some of them compete for club teams in Western Europe where they earn a salary to compete for a club team. So for most of these gymnasts, beyond sponsorships, prize money, and competitions, many of them can make a decent living as a professional gymnast. A little bit different from our era. Kohei Uchimura now, the gymnastics legend from Japan.
He qualified with a 15.4. He stands out right for that beautiful handstand on every event he competes on.
He made 3 event finals here. We'll see him on the high bar as well. We saw him in the floor. He's the only gymnast to make 3 finals. Difficulty.
And the crowd really appreciating great gymnastics. And boy, are they getting a great show.
The move is called a makus, invented by Bogdan Makus, a former great gymnast from the former Soviet Union. Uprise double back. Look at the strain on your upper arms. And that extremely difficult move. His underbar work and form was impeccable. That's what he's known for. Is the perfect blend of difficulty and execution. Few gymnasts have the whole package. Look how his knees are locked together.
And toe point throughout every skill he did. But a strong finish here. You could see he really settles into the landings and held on. Chest was forward a little bit. He liked it.
Started gymnastics at his father's gym in Nagasaki. And he says he plans to continue all the way to the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, where he'll be 31 years of age at least. Uchimura 15.666 moves him to first place on bars, tied with Lin Xiaopan of China.
Een snoepje voor alle Nederlanders en eigenlijk bij uitbreiding voor iedereen hier in het Sportpaleis, dames en heren. Epke Zonderland.
Of course, the world knows Epke Zonderland as the wild man on the high bar, but he also is very good on parallel bars. Qualified in 8th of the 8-9 finalists today into parallel bar final.
He's actually tied with Kohei Uchimura. Both had a 15.4, and they both had the exact same difficulty score, 6.4.
Oh, wow. Nice. Great combination.
And a great save. He looked like he was really pressing through that element.
All of his gymnastics looks like he's making a great save. I'm not sure why, but he's so aggressive, and he just goes for everything. So he always looks like he's right on the edge of crashing, and that's why he's so fun to watch. Oh, nice! The Amadov sequence, pirouetting to the single rail, straddle up, that's great difficulty.
Well, he had a lot back in that routine. He had that 6.4 on day one. We'll see if he was able to add to that difficulty score at all in the finals.
He's won medals before at major meets. In the 2011 European Championships, he won a silver on parallel bars. Of course, he's well known for his high bar work. He's just so fun to watch because he just hangs it out there. He goes for insanely difficult sequences. And I think it's the fact that his hair's flopping around also makes him look somehow just like a wild man.
It did. It was an exciting routine to watch. You know, you mentioned he looks like he's out of control. You'd say Kohei is in full control. He seems very calm through his routines. And it wasn't that he did anything that was falling off the bar, but you kind of were sitting on the edge of your seat the whole time. Weren't sure which way his elements were pirouetting, like this one. It just kept going.
And you wonder sometimes if he's improvising.
Yeah,
oh, if I go outside. He did, actually. That was an intentional pirouetting skill to the single rail, but you always wonder, is that what he intended to do? Because it looks a little bit like he's kind of making it up on the spot, which is so fun. It's known as the Flying Dutchman.
Well, it was an exciting routine, and he finished there with a strong landing. Has to be excited about that routine.
Now, he doesn't have the execution value that you would see from Uchimura, but most of us don't really care because you can see the kind of following he has.
Crazy fans also.
From the fans of the gymnast from Netherlands. After his Olympic victory in 2012, he was made a Knight of the Order of Orange Nassau, which is one of the highest honors that a Dutch athlete can receive. Even the judges don't know what to do with that routine. 27-year-old from Heerenveen in the Netherlands is the city which is most famous for creating world and Olympic medalists in speed skating.
He's anxious for that score. The crowd is starting to get anxious.
Of course, Belgium borders on the Netherlands, and so there's a lot of fans who came down to cheer on their national hero. Can't wait to see him coming up on the high bar in what will be today's final event.
The judges might be discussing difficulty score, so let's see if that's different. He had that 6.4 in his qualification round.
They're like us, they're trying to figure out, did he intend to do that? What do we give it? What's the value of that anyway? Two sets of judges panels, one panel doing the difficulty score, and they gave him a 6.5, a 10th higher than his qualifying, and 8.8 in execution. 15.3 will move him into the bronze medal spot. Lin Xiaopeng and Kohei Uchimura with 15.6.6s still hang on to tie for first place. 5 gymnasts yet to go in today's final, including Vasileios Zolakidis from Greece, top qualifier. And he is essentially a parallel bar specialist. Take a look at some of the crazy stuff he does. 6th at the Olympics last year on this event.
And his highest finish at a Worlds was in 2nd place in 2011.
Very good at these upper arm Diamidov type skills. Once again, that move was submitted here for difficulty value to the FIG and was granted a difficulty element at these championships, but for these championships only, they will no longer allow that particular type of move. Oh no! Oh, it's a shame.
Wow, he's trying to save it, and he just can't hang on.
Here's a guy who already has 2 moves named after him in the International Code of Points. He's 34 years old, twice the age of many of the young women competing here. Oh, that's
I think he probably knew he had already blown it on that one skill, and he just kept trying to fight through. He had such a solid routine going, strong throughout this whole section of the routine.
Very good at these Diamidov type moves, which is spinning on one arm.
Here's where the problem
here's where
happened.
it went wrong.
He wasn't supposed to go outside of the bar. He was supposed to stay in the center of the bar. And then he tried to finish here, and he almost looked like he just didn't have quite enough strength in those shoulders anymore.
It was nice that the production team here in Antwerp decided to play Zorba the Greek in the background, but I don't think he feels like celebrating, because not only in his routine, but a simple backflip dismount will be devastating.
We see some of the athletes do the kip out of those side elements. Was there a reason he didn't try to save it by doing a kip out?
Well, I think he had intended on doing another pirouette and side glide, as they say, kind of like Zonderland did. And he has an option in case he stays inside the bars. He can continue to pirouette and stay inside the bars. So several of those Diamidov type moves, the gymnast has a plan A and a plan B, depending on which way they're leaning, because there's so much riding on being on one arm while you're twisting on top of that single rail.
Obviously, the judges having to figure out the difficulty score in that routine with no major dismount. That'll definitely affect the difficulty score.
Here's an interesting fun fact about this gentleman. His son Stefanos won the Greek national championships early this year in his age group on the parallel bars, in fact. 13.433 moves him into 5th place. So the next generation of Zolakidis gymnasts coming along. Anton Fokin now from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. He's 30 years of age. He's had 2 torn ACLs, one after Beijing and one at the pre-Olympic test event in advance of the 2012 Olympics. So he missed the Olympics last year.
Qualified in 2nd place.
No.
My goodness. Top 2 qualifiers into this event, and they both have made major mistakes.
The bronze medalist at the 2008 Olympics, he was intending to combine a Healy spin out of that single bar English handstand after the peach, and it's game over when that happens. He's so good at these underbar type swings. They're called peach baskets. Why? I don't know. Here's a move made popular by Jake Dalton from the United States. Upper arm backflip with a half twist. Oh, that's a shame, because he's so good here.
Well, he scored a 15.8 in the qualification.
Second place coming into this event. At 30 years of age, he's another one of these gymnasts that is essentially a professional gymnast. He supports his wife and daughter by traveling around competing in World Cup competitions, and he's a member of the German Bundesliga, which is a gymnastics club organization in Germany. Oh, it's a shame. Didn't even go for his dismount.
You can see a little bit of fatigue setting in. He looked like he had struggled on that press up as well. This is a long week for these athletes. They've been here training. They do podium trainings. They compete throughout the entire week. And like we talked about, it's not just the physical exhaustion. A lot of times it's the mental exhaustion. So.
Uzbekistan, Antwerp.
You can see he has beautiful form, which is why he was a contender on this event, and he had phenomenal swinging skills. Just struggled there at the beginning of the routine, and of course that mental factor and being able to carry out the rest of the routine to the end seemed to play into it today.
Bij de club Ohio State University.
Three more performers in today's final, including Brandon Wynn from the U.S., John Orozco from the U.S., and they will close out today's parallel bar final with Yo Hao of China. This has been the most disappointing event so far at these World Championships. The number of falls has really affected the quality of the competition here in today's P-bar final.
Obviously, when the top two make big mistakes like that, the door's really open.
Lin Xiaopan and Kohei Uchimura with 15 6.66s are the leaders. Opportunity here for the American athletes. The Americans doing extremely well here at these championships, and potential for more medals as well today.
We get a little bit more delay when there's major mistakes.
Oh, you know, the judges are over there scratching their heads because they, you know, he does only a simple dismount, which means he doesn't get the event requirement for doing a D-level dismount. He missed combinations. I mean, it's a very difficult thing. It's almost easy to calculate a good routine. A bad routine is difficult to come up with this score. 12-4, 6-6, he puts him in 6th place. Brandon Wynn now from the United States. Trains at Ohio State University. Won the bronze medal yesterday on the rings, and as he gets a little assist there from former Cuban gymnast Quasimiro Suarez, who's the assistant coach at Ohio State University. See if he can do a decent P-bar routine here today.
Brandon is very strong. Little form break there, but great save.
Nice. Nice to have that kind of arm strength where if you get in trouble, you can just squeeze the sap out of those bars. That's unfortunate. That bent arm.
Looked like his arms buckled out a little bit, but there again, because he's so strong, he was able to press out and save.
Yeah, but he's struggling here a little bit.
Yeah, they look tired. We talk about the men's events. 4 of the 6 are upper body. And remember, he was in the ring finals yesterday. Held on, though. You can see them all shaking their arms out when they come off.
Brandon Wynn's coach at Ohio State is Rustam Sharipov, who was the 1996 Olympic gold medalist. This move is just insane. Double back in between the bars with a half twist, and he comes out of it smoothly. And then here, on a rather simple Healy turn, his arm just buckles. He was a little out of line there.
So he obviously pressed that back out, and it is a deduction. Something like that, is that the same as a fall, or is it more like...
In that case, it's probably about a half a point for the break in rhythm, the botched move. Chances are it was supposed to be in a combination. I mean, things start to add up at some point. And in the finals, you know, it's going to be so close with the top gymnast that even one medium level break is going to keep you off the podium. So once something like happens, a lot of the gymnasts just sort of cash it in, as we saw from Anton Bokin and Zolakidis from Greece that didn't even do legitimate dismounts.
Well, his difficulty score on day one was a 6.6. We'll see how that mistake affects his difficulty score in the finals.
He's on the U.S. team because of what he contributes in terms of his rings. And to have gotten a bronze medal at these World Championships on rings, it's just a bonus that he had a chance to make the parallel bar final. 6-3 difficulty, but the execution way down. Here's one of our leaders, Lin Xiaopan, tied with Kohei Uchimura for first place, 15.66 in this final on parallel bars, which has been something of a disappointment. We've seen so many mistakes, which means there's an opportunity here for the next gymnast, John Orozco. This is the first time we've seen him at these World Championships. He made the finals here on parallel bars, qualified 8th into the finals. 6.8 was his difficulty score.
John, obviously a member of the 2012 Olympic team, and then he went on the tour and actually has had to recover from an ACL tear on that tour.
Yes, here's a gymnast who has come back from a torn Achilles and a torn ACL. I mean, these are two of the most severe injuries any athlete can have, and yet here he is competing in the finals at the World Championships. Of course, he was a member of the 2012 Olympic team for the U.S. that took 5th place.
He isn't 100% back on his knee on the other events, although has done very well in the all-arounds.
Nice.
Wow. Solid routine.
A 20-year-old from the Bronx who began gymnastics at the age of 7, and he's coached by Vitaly Maninic, who is right there. Vitaly, formerly of Belarus. Vitaly now the head coach at the U.S. Olympic Training Center out there in Colorado Springs. Great pike double back between the rails. You see his left hand has some tape on it. He jammed his thumb the other day. Jake Dalton did the same thing. I saw the two gymnasts in training, and they both had these small plastic casts on their thumbs. An odd injury.
Well, obviously a very important part for a male gymnast, the hands on all of the events, especially on this one. You can see how intricate these movements are.
Hij werd 4e in de kwalificaties.
Nice form there. He really had a lot of difficulty throughout that routine. His biggest area to improve is execution. You can see his feet moving a little bit, not staying pointed through the entire element, but was clean on the landing.
He also happens to be a talented singer and piano player as he moves into 3rd place. Get this, he has his own YouTube channel for his performance, so I'm sure people want to have a chance to take that out. 3rd place, so he is in a podium finish position right now. The leaders, of course, Lin Xiaopan and Uchimura. There's one gymnast to go, and guess what? He happens to come from China. Yo Hao, ranked 4th with a 15.666 in qualifying, and if he could match that score, he would be also in a tie for 1st place. So here is a guy who can knock them all off the podium right here. His first World Championships. Very smooth. my goodness.
I was just gonna
Easiest part of his routine.
compliment how effortlessly he swings to those handstand positions and then came up short on that one. But a big dismount there.
I'll say it. Double front with a half at the end. Oh. He's the Chinese national champion on this event, just 19 years of age.
Difficulty 6.9. That was really the only break in the routine.
John Orozco from the U.S., 15.533, currently in the bronze medal spot. So if Yo could score above that, he would bump Orozco out of the medals. Interesting to see what kind of severity the judges apply to that deduction. Bent his arms, broke rhythm.
A nice execution throughout this entire routine. It was that handstand deduction. And then he also stepped right here on the dismount. Pretty large step back.
Certainly at 0.3 of a point, and probably another 1/10 of a point for being a little out of shape in the air.
But for your first World Championships, not too bad.
Not bad. So a 15.5 puts him in 4th place. So John Orozco from the United States by .333, 33 thousandths of a point, will earn another medal for the United States. And the gold goes to Lin Xiaopan in tie with Kohei Uchimura with 15.666. John Orozco from the United States earns yet another medal, the 11th for the U.S. team at these World Championships. 2 more event finals coming up, the women's floor and the men's high bar.